In November of 1860, Abraham Lincoln won the presidency. America didn't celebrate. America panicked. Southern states talked openly about leaving the Union. Militias armed themselves. The country wasn't divided by politics. It was divided by existence. And before Lincoln ever stepped into the White House, someone tried to kill him. This is the story of the assassination attempt that would have changed everything before the Civil War even began. Lincoln wasn't president yet. He was president-elect. And in 1861, that distinction mattered. The federal government was weak. The outgoing president, James Buchanan, did almost nothing. States were seceding one by one. Lincoln represented a threat, not just politically, but symbolically. To some Americans, killing him felt like self-defense. In February 1861, Lincoln began a long train journey from Illinois to Washington, D.C. At every stop, crowds gathered. Speeches were made. Tensions rose. Lincoln was visible, predictable, vulnerable, and one city stood out as especially dangerous: Baltimore, Maryland, a slave state, deeply divided and filled with Confederate sympathizers. Secret reports began circulating. Pinkerton detectives, informants, whispers in saloons and boarding houses. The plan was simple and brutal. When Lincoln changed trains in Baltimore, a staged street disturbance. The crowd surges, a blade or pistol in the chaos. One strike, one moment, no president. Lincoln was warned. Some advisors told him, "Go anyway, face the people." Others begged him to disappear. In the end, Lincoln made a choice that saved the United States and embarrassed him for years afterward. He slipped through Baltimore in secret, disguised, traveling at night. No speeches, no crowds. When news broke, newspapers mocked him, called him a coward, a sneaking politician. But Lincoln was alive. Now pause, imagine the alternative. No Lincoln in March 1861. No Emancipation Proclamation. No steady leadership during the Civil War. The Union might have fractured permanently. Slavery could have survived decades longer. The United States, as we know it, may not exist. History didn't turn on a battlefield. It turned on a train schedule. Lincoln was assassinated 4 years later. That tragedy overshadowed everything else. But this earlier attempt, it doesn't fit the myth. It reminds us how fragile history really is, how close America came to losing itself before the war even began. Sometimes history isn't changed by what happens, but by what almost happens. I'm Clyde Chester, and this is History of United States, where America's future once hung by a thread.